So, are you guys just hanging around here, or am I supposed to be live right now? Trying to figure this out. I guess I'm supposed to be here. How is everybody doing? Had a good start to a Sunday morning day. Wild Bill, Shannon McCord, Techstart, Tim Crowell, CVS. Got everybody here, looks like. Hey, so here's what we've got going on. We're going to be going through the last part. This bag of steel pennies underneath my chair I had to move. Okay. Let me get comfy. Looks like we got a little ways to go. Got a stack of, probably about 60, maybe 70 flips. Then I'm going to get a couple of coins apiece. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. No time like the present, eh? And so, here is the first coin for Doug Reese. Oof, look at that. Well, it's not a double die, but it is a very strong case for machine doubling. Got just a little bit on the Y over there. Hey, Coin Dragon, Brian Pruitt, Adam Chambers, Bill 457. Jeremy Johnson, Joe McBride. Got a whole lot of people in here. Love that. 14 people watching right now. Okay, we got a really nice strong case of flat field strike doubling going on here. It's cute. Nice looking coin. Let's take a look at the reverse. See what's on the reverse. It looks like we've got nothing going on the reverse. So that'll be the first coin here for Doug Reese. And let me pick out a second coin for Doug Reese. Get this one right here. What's this? It's a 42S. 1942S, one of the toughest estimate years in the 1940s. And it looks like we have normality on this side. Let's take a look at the other side. See what we get on the other side here. Looks like normality again. Now, 1942S is not well known for double die reverses. There are some very minor. There's one very minor die that comes to mind right now, and it just shows just a little tiny bit right down here in the lower right wheat. I'm pretty sure that one's listed on copper coins. So that's Doug Reese for you. A nice 1944S. Let's see what we got here for Fox Run Forge. 49S, do we have an RPM or do we not? It appears as though it is. You can see just a little bit of doubling down there on the lower serif. A little bit of doubling on the lower serif. We don't have a doubled I. There's nothing going on in the motto or in Liberty. Coins for amateurs. How are you doing? Haven't seen you around here for a little while. Let's see what we have on the reverse. Not seeing anything special on the reverse on this coin, so I will move on. Next coin up is going to be this one. What is it? Ooh, it's a 49S, and this one's got a nice RPM. Take a look at that. That's going to be a listed RPM for sure. This one's really nice. Let's see, got no doubled eyelid, no doubling in the motto. And wait a minute. Okay, must have just been the way I flipped it. I thought it was a rotated reverse there for a second, but it's not. So, let's see what else I can find here. Okay, got nothing else on this one. Got a nice RPM for Fox Run Forge. Frank! Frank. You're up next. Let's see, pick a good one for Frank here. There's one. Guess why I picked this? I could see stripes. It's a 47S though. It doesn't have any doubling of any kind on it, but it is a Woody. Nice little lines going right through everything. There we go for that. Let's see what the reverse looks like. I've only seen the obverse on this one. I just kind of picked it up out of the pocket. I saw oh, whoa. There's one that's got some stripes on it. Let me see. Sure enough, it's a Woody. Nothing else, but it's a Woody. Well, it's from the United ST Forts. That's the ST Forts of America, because that bottom part of the A is missing, so it's the United ST Forts of America. Not sure where that is. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. All right, let's try another one for Frank. We'll pick this one up right here. What do we got? Ooh, 1940's. Well, in this condition, these are kind of tough. This is a nice, decent, uncirculated coin. It's got a little bit of toning on it. Not a Woody, more like a marbly. Hello, Randy. Oh, let's see if there's anything going on in the reverse. Oh, take a look at that die crack. That die crack going from the right weed all the way through Unum. Not a double die reverse. Not a double die obverse. But you did get a nice 1940S, and then you got a 47S. That was a Woody. So there's that for Coin Dragon. Next comes up Fox Run Forge again. Here's coin number 1, coin number 2. So let's see what this one has. It's a 47S, and this 47S shows us a little bit of staining. Nothing else on the obverse. Let's take a look at the reverse. A little bit of machine doubling up there toward the top of the design. And nothing else. All right, so we have a 47S. What's the next coin here? Ooh, a 46S. Let's see what we have. You know that I'm looking for one of those 46S over Ds. I know they're rare, but you can always hope, right? Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing up and around the top. Nothing up my sleeve. Presto. Looks like I better get another hat. All right. Fox Run Forge. Yeah, there were some lines on that one. I wouldn't really call it a Woody, though. I mean, there might have been a couple of little lines on that one. All right. Fox Run Forge. Who's next? Adam Chambers. Adam Chambers will get that coin and that coin. What's this one? Well, it's a 46S. It is an RPM. You can see a split in the upper serif right there. So this is a 1946S RPM. Don't see any doubling up here. Nope. Got a nice RPM though. See if there's any doubling on the reverse. No doubling that I see on the obverse or reverse. There's a little bit of a spotting issue on the reverse, but it is a nice RPM. So we're going to keep this one out. What's this one? A 47S. 47S, and what are you? Well, it looks like a sans serif, but normal mint mark. We've got no doubling on the date. And no doubling around that side. Let's see what we have on the reverse. Nothing I can see. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to take a drink. All right, that's Adam Chambers. And next will be Wild Bill. Wild Bill. I got 2 coins picked out for you. This is the first one. Let's see what it has. This is a 46S sans serif. Relatively new die struck this side of the coin. But we have no connectivity to anything of higher value on that side. Let's take a look at the reverse. And the reverse shows me nothing as well. Nothing special. 46S. Let's take a look at this one. What do we have here? Ooh, look, it's a 49S with a really nice RPM. Look at that. That's cute. I like that. There you go, Wild Bill. Got yourself a nice RPM on there. Very nice. Alright, so that's Wild Bill for you. Let's see who comes next. Wild Bill again. It's Wild Bill again. You see, you're getting all yours today. They're all coming in the beginning. Let's see. It's a 45S. 45S with no RPM. Nothing on the reverse. Let's take a look at his other coin. What is it? A 47S. Well, these 47S coins are going to have to start showing me something. I'm going to stop getting excited about them. 47S tends to have some RPMs, but I don't think we found anything yet on a 47S in this search. I mean, it wouldn't be unusual at all. Just undesired. Techstar. Got Techstar coming up next. Get Wild Bill's coins put away here. There we go. And Techstar, I'm going to do this one and this one. Let's see. 48S. There's an RPM for you. That one's definitely going to be a listed one. It's a split upper and lower serif. Split upper and lower on that bad boy. Alright, nothing else there. Let's see what the next coin is. A 44S. Nothing doubled so far. 44S is one of those ones that can be very impressive once in a while. Oh, like this. Boom. There you go. Holy moly, that's fat. Techstar got himself a super class 6 double die. Say bam. Oh yeah, look how thick. That's double thick right there. That's double thick. Oh yeah, for sure. Really nice double die. Alright. I'm happy for that. Techstar got himself a super double die. Techstar, I guess, isn't in here. He'd be jumping. Oh, he is in here. You got yourself a super double die, and you say, oh, those work for me. Alright, who's next? Quads. Quads will get these 2 coins. Let's see what's on those. If anything. It's a 1946S with a sans serif mint mark. Don't see anything else on the obverse. Let's see. The reverse. And nothing there. Next coin is, what are you? 44S. Well, 44S can be one of those ones that turns exciting. Just so we just saw it. And let's see on this one. Got nothing. Darn it. Got nothing. Oh well. Happens once in a while. Doesn't happen all the time. If it happened all the time, then they wouldn't be valuable. Alright, next up, levels. Levels of Madness. We'll get that coin and this coin. It's a 48S. And does not appear to be a double die on the obverse. Randy, yes, they are. I've kind of been working with John and James to get things together and try to make a share between the three of us for years, and it doesn't generally seem to work out unless it's something very rare that the owner of the coin doesn't want passed around to everybody. And I can understand that because I did a pass around on 1929D double die obverse that I discovered, took photos of it, put it on the website, sent it over to either James Wells, Ken Potter, or John Wexler, one of the three, and it made it about halfway around that circle and then was gone for good. And it's still gone for good. Nobody knows what happened to it. So my 1929D double die obverse discovery went to the wind. Alright, Deanne. Let's see what Deanne gets. It's a 1940S. It's a nice 1940S, and I don't see anything on the obverse. Ooh, it's got a big scratch on the obverse. Oh, it happens. Not that worried about it. It was a penny. Alright, I'm going to pull this one out because I don't like the scratches. We'll try a different one. Different one here for Deanne. Let's see what we get. That's a 47S. This one's got split upper serif, so it is a repunchment mark. There's an extra serif on the inside of the upper serif. So that is a repunchment mark. Let's keep going around and see what we got here. Nothing on the obverse. And what about the reverse? Very late die state reverse. This being a very late die state reverse, if we had a minor double die, it'd be really hard, if not impossible, to see. So only the major ones would be available for viewing in this late die state. It's a 48S. Did we already see this? We might have. No, I don't think we did. I'll keep moving through this one. I don't see anything here, though. It appears to be relatively normal. Is normal 1948S, so Deanne gets a couple of normal coins. Exactly the direction I want to go, but it is realism. Mr. Morrell, 1940S. Checking to see if I could see anything special there, and I just don't see anything there. Normal 1940S on the obverse. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick. You never know when these things produce. There's some nice die cracks on this one. Die cracks coming in and out of the wheat ears. But we've got nothing else here. This is just a normal 1940S Lincoln. What's this one? There's a 41S. This one's got some nice machine doubling on it, but that's all it is. You'll notice that the date and the mint mark are doubled exactly the same and in the same direction. That's a really good sign that all you have is machine doubling. And yes, it is possible to have machine doubling and a double die at the same time. You can see this doubling here. That's all machine doubling. So it's affected this area up here and this area down here, and that's about it. Strange how it affects only certain areas of the design, but it is definitely possible and does do that very often. See what we have on the reverse. And it appears we have nothing at all here. Alright, there's Mr. Morel. No, CBS, this coin was machine doubling. Adam Chambers will be next. Let's see what Adam Chambers gets. Well, we've got a 1941S with a little bit of machine doubling. Machine doubling is actually relatively common for this era of Lincoln cents. It became uncommon again headed toward the mid-40s, and it stayed uncommon until the late 50s, where for some reason, 1956, 57, it really shot up, and you could see machine doubling on a whole bunch of coins. It could very well have to do with the way they were adjusting the dies. It could have to do with the way they were tightening the machine, the tools they were using, or pretty much anything. But something happened in the early 40s, and then again in the late 50s, up to around 1960, 61, where machine doubling became very common. Alright, got nothing there. Sorry, Adam. Is what it is. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Let's see, who's next? Doug Reese. Pick these two coins, and this one will be the first one we do. What do we have? Well, it's a 47S with a spot, so we're probably going to end up tossing this coin off to the side. Don't like spots. Nope. Not going to keep that one. Let's move a different coin into that spot, and it's this one. It's a 44S. Looks almost like the half-assed. It's not quite the half-assed that Paul Hampton got last night, but sort of kind of half-assed. Take a look at the reverse. We have a very late dice date coin that does not have any hub doubling on it. Move on. And a 48S. Not an RPM. Not a double die obverse. And not a double die reverse either. Hit a little bit of a dry spell here. Doing pretty good with RPMs when we first started up this morning. Alright. Let's see, what else do we have here? Mr. Morel again. Well, I've picked out a 47S for you. And no doubling. It is normal for 1947S, Adam. Nice that you should mention that. That is a very common feature for 1947 for the Liberty to appear that it may have Class 6 doubling. This is a good example of that. This one has a rather fat looking Liberty, especially the E, the T. A few of the letters look very fat, the I. But if you look up here, you'll see that everything is very normal. Very normal indeed. Look over at the date, everything is normal. You're not going to get a Class 6 double die that's only going to have fatness in one area of the coin. It's going to be a lot more than one area. So that is normal for 1947S. Here's a 49S. And on this 1949S, there's a series of puck marks. 1949S, for one reason or another, tends to be one of those coins that even when you're looking through bags of Lincolns, you don't find them. And you have kids trying to fill a collection, can't seem to get their collection completely filled. Their, Whitman book number 2 that starts in 1941. 1949S is typically one of the last spots they fill. Same thing with Roosevelt dimes. Oddly enough, there's not really any key dates in the Roosevelt dimes, but of the Roosevelt dimes, the most key is the 49S. A lot of low mintage stuff came out in 1949. 1949 Philadelphia Lincoln cents and higher grade. You get them into 66, 67, 68. Man, those values shoot up quickly. Very quickly. You go in values like, $50 or $15, $50, $600, and then $12,000. It's one of those. That your values just start out, whatever, and then they go to absolutely skyrocketed numbers. Is you, Randy? Unfortunately, we don't have anything for you right now. It's a couple of normal 1940, what 1940s estimate coins. I don't remember the dates. You got a 48 and a 42. That's what we're talking about 42 for. It's one of the more difficult dates. 42 and 49 are the two hardest ones that you're going to find in this bag. 42 and 49. All right, Mr. Morel. What else do we have? Got a 46S. Well, this one's a little bit fritter chewed up. Hello, Arizona Coins. Okay, nothing on that one. Let's take a look at his other coin. And we got a 48S. Pretty decent looking 48S. Nothing special though. Take a look at the other side here. And nothing here either. Next up, Farm Dog. Got his two coins. This is the first one. It's 1944S. Is this an RPM or just some machine doubling? Nope, looks like an RPM. You got a little bit of RPM to the west. And pretty late dice date coin though. But that is an RPM to the west. Flip it over and take a look at the other side. Nothing there. Let's look at his other coin. What's his other coin? The 47S. Not so nice. Not so nice. Gonna have a special deal for all you people watching this show right here today. Tim, yes I do. It just depends on what it is and what the condition is, what the overall value is, expectation, the timeliness of the sale, whether it needs to be sold in a day or if it can take a month. Hey, just get a hold of me by email. We'll talk about it. CD@coppercoins.com. That's CD@coppercoins.com. Call us now, 1-800-235-5577. I fubbed up that last number, and the reason I did that is because I didn't want anybody calling it. I didn't know what number it was. All right, let's see what we got here. Get that last side of the coin for this flip. Got nothing going on there. We're gonna move on. Levels of Madness gets a couple of normal coins. Sorry, sir. Keep us moving along here. Got Jeff Dunn coming up next. Let's see what Jeff Dunn gets. Jeff Dunn is a little bit of a spotted 1942S. And no doubling on that side. Probably not going to see any on this side because it's a 42S. Nothing there, but a 42S is kind of a valuable coin to begin with. So we'll keep that one. A 49S. Do we have splits in the serif? Yeah, we do. We have a lower split serif. It's a very minor one, though. You may or may not be able to find this one listed. Joe, we're saving your coin. Saving your coin to the end. Honestly. Let's see who comes up. Where is Joe McBride? If you put on a big red and white stocking cap, we'd know where you were. You'd be Finding Waldo. Let's see here. Looking for Joe McBride. Joe McBride. How many spots you get, Joe? You're not in here, brother. Joe? I might have pulled yours yesterday if I had them. Let me check my sheet. You paid for them? Hang on a second. Let me take a look. $36A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots for Joe McBride. Did I put him in yesterday? Were you watching yesterday, Joe? Your spots may have all come up yesterday. You did not get picked yesterday. Give me $1 if I find your name in yesterday's stuff, Joe. Just letting you know. You owe me $1 plus everybody watching the show. I'm going to go through and find yours. Hang on just a minute. I'll go get them. If they're not in here, it's my fault for sure. And I will do what it takes to get them in here. Let's see. I have a tendency to fall asleep during my shows, so I don't remember everything. Nope, Marshall, that's not the way it's going to work. All right, Joe, I don't have you. I don't know why, but I don't have you. So here's how we're going to do this. I need to stop the show here real quick. Do something for Joe. It's not hard to make up for it considering I don't just have 50 coins, and that's part of the issue as well. I'm making inserts for Joe right now. I don't know why you got missed. But here we go. There's one. See, we're doing it that way. I'm just writing Joe's name on there. Who was it that came in and told you they weren't in the row and you asked if they wanted in on it and they never answered me? I think it was Bill Betts. That was Bill Betts. All right, Joe, you got 5 spots now. And your first one's going to be next. And then the other 4 I'm going to mix in with everybody further down here. I don't know how and why I did that. It just happened to work out that way, I suppose. Oops. I don't want it to go upside down there. There we go. And here. Okay, Joe McBride is next. See how that works out. I have the power. There's 1 and there's 2. So we're going to look at Joe McBride's first coin. 47S. You know, I don't really generally expect to find much on a 47S. This bag seems to be absent of 47S die varieties. What's this one? A 45S. It looks like a little RPM. That it is. It's an RPM. It's got a split upper serif there. So, Joe, your first pull, we got your little RPM. Kind of late die state reverse. Not going to be able to tell a whole lot with that. But that's Joe McBride for you. What do you know? See? Now he's in the mix. In the mix. Next is Andrew Forbes. There's his first coin right here. It's a 49S. And appears as though, yeah, it is. It's an RPM. You can see doubling there on the outside of the upper part of the curve. And then you can see doubling on the upper. You can see a little notch right up in the corner of the upper serif. So not a whole lot else going on with that coin, but we do have an RPM. Let's see what the next coin brings us. It's a 1940S. And a 1940S that has nothing on the obverse. Let's a little bit of a die crack going across the bottom of the coat, but let's take a look for a double die reverse and see what we see. And it is not here. No double die reverse on this one. So, Mr. Forbes, we move on. Let's see here. Okay, a 1949S. Does not appear that we have an RPM here, nor a double die of the date. No doubling on anywhere on the obverse. Let's take a look at the reverse now. And does not appear to be anything on that side. Next coin is 1946's. This one is a sans serif style. And it looks like there's... no, it's not. It's not an RPM. I thought it might be an RPM. As I cranked it around, I discovered that it didn't have the separation it needs to have to be an RPM. So these things can be determined in a relatively quick hurry. Just got to do it for a while. Well, that was Eric Beyer. Eric Beyer is going to get another whack at it here. He got himself 2 holders in a row. So let's see this coin and this coin. Let's see what they are. Well, there's a 46S. This one is an RPM. You can see it on the upper serif up there. It's actually doubled, and the upper part of the curve is thicker than it should be. But not saying this is going to be listed. I'm just saying it's a minor RPM. Hello, Black Steel. Back for more, are we? I appreciate you dropping by. There's our first coin of that holder. Let's take a look at what's this one. Well, it's a 48S, and it does have a split serif lower mint mark, RPM, mint mark, blah blah, dot dot. There we go. You can see it at that angle. Lower serif is quite well split on this one. This one will be listed. Another thing you'll be able to take note with 48 is that some parts of We and Trust often look a little extra thick. And same thing with Liberty. It can also have a tendency to look a little bit thick. And it's not a double die. You'll notice that after you go through a whole bunch of them. Hi there, Black Steel. Let's see. What else we got? Eric's here. If it's listed, he'll find it. I like that. Well, what I mean by listed is whether or not it's already in either the Wechsler system, the Konica system, or the Coppercoin system. And some of them I end up seeing that are probably too minor to be listed in those systems, and then there's other ones that are probably unlisted that need to be listed. Listed meaning someone has taken photographs of them, put a die number to them, and assigned them to the system, to the die variety system, so that people can look them up. Be able to tell what die number they got. Alright, that one's got a big spot on it. Reverse has a sizable spot too. We'll just toss this one off to the side and move on to another coin. We'll do this one. How about it? Well, it's a 49S, and it does have a split lower serif. This is a split lower serif RPM. Split lower and upper, actually. So you should be able to find this one listed. Moving on over to the reverse. Nothing there. Well, let's take a look at the next coin. That's a 48S. And this beautiful 1948S Lincoln cent is normal in every way. No manufacturer defects. Guaranteed against manufacturer defects. So that it does not have a double die repunchment mark. Or any other type of error or variety that we might be looking for. And so that is for Stevie. We got that one in there. I think Stevie's here. He was anyway. All right, now Wild Bill. What do we got for Wild Bill? 49S. Does not appear to be an RPM. Does not appear to be a double die. Obverse. One little bit of machine doubling up there. No doubling on that coin. Let's take a look at the other coin. It's a 48S. Not seeing anything. Take a look at the reverse real quick. Not seeing anything spinning my top over here, so we're going to move on to the next holder. This one's going to be Joe McBride. Well, you know, get him added in, he shows up. How about that? First coin, a 42S. Not a bad coin to start with, 42S there. Slightly lower minted than most of the other years in the 40s. It was also during a period of time where the mint was trying to make a decision as to what to do about the alloy of coins, and it did slow down production somewhat. And next, we have a 44S. Now a little bit of a lamb stripe going right through it, through the B and the E of Liberty. You can see some stripes going throughout this coin, but it's not really heavy enough to call it woody. Woody is more of a texture in the color because of alloy differences. If they weren't mixed properly, it's an impure alloy strike. And some of them flake out and become lamination, some of them don't. A lot of the ones that don't, they tend to oxidize differently, where some of them will stay, some of the area of the coin will stay bright red, and other areas of the coin will turn purple, brown, green, orange, pink, whatever color you can think of. There's Sissy Atwell's first. Nice 46S. Got nothing else going on with this one. And the reverse. Nothing going on there. Next coin for Steve A. Hey, there's a 44S with an RPM. There's a little split upper serif. You can see an extra serif sticking up right to the left of the normal serif. Nice, nice, nice for Steve A. Nothing else on the obverse. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick. Well, it's very late die state. Not going to see a whole lot on it. The bottom of the fours is actually part of a master die issue. The bottom of the fours are actually doubled on pretty much all 1944 Lincoln cents. All PDS included. Now Wild Bill. Wild Bill's first coin, a 1949S. Let's see, we do have, well, maybe. Yep, split serif, split lower serif. Well, that's gonna work there, isn't it? Got a little Dali mustache. My name is Salvador Dali. Well, starting to feel a little like Freddie Fender here. Wasted days and wasted nights. Can't do that. My video would be deleted if I did any more than that. Yeah, what I want to know is where's my royalty for actually spreading the word about that music? Huh? Where's mine? I want mine, folks. Alright, let's see. Next up is going to be Steve A. Steve A. Well, there's a 48S. Not the prettiest coin. Not just gut ugly, but... well, now it is. Now I have an excuse to toss it. I don't like spots. No spots on my coins. Let's see what Stevie gets here. There's a 45S ball serif mint mark, but it's not anything special. And looking, we do have a Class 6 double die reverse here. You can see the doubling on the outside edge of all of the points of the left wheat. You can see the egg-shaped little dot, extra stretching in PLUR, IBUS, and UNUM. Let's see if we've got the same thing on this side of the outside as we did on the other side. Well, just a little bit. Not as much. The left side is generally stronger here. And yeah, that is a Class 6 double die reverse. And this one was on a 1945S. So there you go. Got you a nice 1945S double die reverse, Steve. Let's take a look at the other coin and see what it is. Well, it's a 48S. On the obverse of which I see nothing. And the reverse, I see nothing more. Your grandchildren downstairs are telling you to turn the volume down? Come on, Grandpa. What is up with you? Are you deaf? Alright, Wild Bill. 2 more coins for Wild Bill here. It's a 1940S. Well, here's what my question would be. If the grandchildren can hear this, and they are asking about turning it down, could they not maybe get a little bit of entertainment out of actually watching it? What, am I that hard to watch? You dislike me that much? That's because I know not everybody likes me, but not so much they want to turn me off. Come on, like, really, kids? It's not that bad, is it? Spoiled little brats. Techstar. Techstar comes up next. What do we got for Techstar? This one is either a woody or it's cleaned. Let me take a look at it. Oh, it's definitely a woody. This is nice. This looked almost like cleaning stripes. It's a 41S. Nice 41S woody. That's just a really nice looking pattern. That's really cool. Very nice woody. Didn't have anything else on it, but it is a nice woody. And we have a 49S. A 49S with nothing on the mint mark area or the date. Let's take a look around the rest of the design and see what we come up with. I'm trying to be quiet. That way Randy's grandkids don't come up and scald him for listening to me. That's right, that's what a woody looks like. It actually has a wood green appearance to it. Look at it again. This one does go through both sides. So you basically have no wood out here, and then it shades itself into the wood grain, and then almost back out again. So it's actually got different surface appearances in different parts of the reverse of the coin, and it's got a pretty nice woody running down the obverse of the coin in the same basic area. So that's nice. Hello, Coin Junkie. Back to Mr. Connor. Nice woody for Techstar. Back to Mr. Connor. Mr. Connor will get this 1944S, which does not necessarily appear to be anything specifically nice. Flip it over and take a look at the other side. Oh, can mark this one no magnification because this we already know has nothing on it. And this 1949S is a repunch mint mark. You can see the bottom serif has an extra little plug thing in it. It is down there. And there's your split in the upper serif right there. You can see a black line running right through the middle of the upper serif. That's going to be your split in the upper serif. Pretty nice looking RPM. Flip it over and take a look at the reverse. And from the reverse, what do we get? Nothing at all. That's for Mr. Adam Connor. This is going to complete our series of reveals for the week. Till Tuesday when I come back on and do more reveals. We have plenty coming. But what I do want to tell you is that anyone and everyone watching this will have an opportunity at the end of this show to make a purchase that they may like. But you have to stay tuned to find out what it is. I'll tell you. Oh, and about 25 coins. All right. 46S here. Nothing really there. Flip it over and take a look at the other side. And the other side is... well, looks normal to me. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah. Looks normal to me. Once in a while, I catch a fleeting glimpse of something that I think might be something. And since it cost me nothing to look at it, I want to be sure I catch everything. So sometimes I'll look at it again. Don't want to get anybody's heart skipping a jump and beat and everything. Here's Coin Dragon. Grab two coins out of the pile. The first one's a 1946S. Nice RPM. Nice little RPM there. I like that. Got himself a cutie. That'll be fun to attribute. Alright, Dragon. Here's your next coin. Yeah, it's a 42S. Nothing doing with the obverse. What about the reverse? Nope. Nothing there either. Alright, Andrew Forbes. I'm going to pick a couple of coins out for you. Got this one right here. It's a 42S. And that is machine doubling on there, I do believe. Nothing on the obverse. Checking out that reverse. We're looking for that ever yet to be discovered 1942S double die reverse and have not yet found it, which surprises me not one bit. There's a 41S large S. Very nice looking large S coin to get your collection running on varieties. See a couple of spots, flecks that need to be taken off, but not much. I don't see a double die. And that's that for that coin for Mr. Forbes. Mr. McBride. Mr. McBride will get this. McBride, not MacBride. Joe McBride. 48S. Oh, he's looking right at a huge black slime ball, and there's another one out there in the field. And so, since this one's not going to produce as it appears, let's look at the reverse. Look at the reverse. Don't ever jump the gun on this stuff. Yeah, we got nothing to copy in over here. So that's going to be a normal one. Next up, 1941S. This one's a small S. All right, happy Sunday, Majestic. Did we look at the reverse on this one? I think we might have. We have now for sure. All right, Deanne. Yeah, got a 49S. Is it doubled? Yeah, that bit mark might be doubled just a little tiny bit, but I wouldn't really call that one. Nothing there. Nah. Sorry. And this one. Well, it's a 45S. What do we have for this 45S? Nothing. No. Just kind of looking at that to see if it might be something, and it wasn't. I put you asleep again last night? Oh my gosh. We gotta do something about that.
Maybe if I talk like this, you won't fall asleep. And I can tell you how much the coins are worth, right? No tendency to go to sleep when I'm annoying.
I don't know. My mother always said, just be you, right? Just be yourself. But you have to get rid of that damned annoying voice, because no one's ever going to take you seriously with that annoying voice. So I developed this voice, and now Dave falls asleep on me. Well, if you're going to fall asleep, it's not going to do you a whole lot of good to tune in, and I really don't want that to happen. So if I have to sound like Mr. Godfrey just to keep you up, hey, look, there's a half-assed 1946S. That's a half-assed S. Who got the half-assed coin? Doug Reese got a half-assed coin. Yesterday it was Paul Hampton. He got a half-assed 1947S. This one's a half-assed 1946S. I like half-assed coins. They're kind of funny. Makes you want to carry them around and say something to all the church ladies. You want to see my half-assed coin? I got a half-assed penny right here in my pocket. Want to see it? I don't know if she'd have you arrested or otherwise taken to the slammer for your half-assed coin. Hey, what is this? That is a nice 1945S RPM right there. That little horn sticking up out of the top of the top of the S is another mint mark. So we have another upper curve coming up out of the top of the upper curve right there. That is a 1945S RPM. That's a very nice RPM. Is that a half-assed coin, or are you just glad to see me?
Well, I don't know. Let me check.
So once in a while, I just have to knock Dave in the back of the head. Wake up, dude! Need to go find myself one of those air horns. Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
You awake? This is a very nice RPM. So this one's going to go down in the books as being one of the better ones that we've found so far. Very, very nice indeed. You can see it best at about that angle. Very nice. Let's see what Adam Connor's next coin is. It's a 49S. Oh, would you look at that? Remember what I was talking to you about with the 49S's, where you got the 49S over the 48? You see the 4? See how you got that little pointy thing coming out from behind the squarey thing? That's one of the double dies, and the 9 is doubled too on this one. The 9 shows doubling. This one is an RPM, so it's the die that has the RPM. There's 3 different ones of these known. And this one is likely the third one, the one that has the RPM on it. Very nice. Nice, nice, nice double die right there. There you go. I tell you what, folks, I'd pay 75 cents for that any day of the week. Got that and got himself a nice RPM. All in the same pool. How about that? Mr. Connor?
You owe me a Coke. Because I did something real nice to you.
Did I skip the reverse of that coin? I bet you I did. I get so excited looking at those. I forget all about the other side. Let's see, let's take a look at, is it this one? Nope, that's the other coin. Here it is. Okay, this is the reverse of the 1949S. With the doubled die on the obverse. For the best coin hits of the 1940s, come to Chuck Daughtrey at Copper Coins on YouTube. I need one of those jingle singers. Coppercoins.com. Alrighty then, we got ourselves a new little pocket full of change here. We'll pull this one, and we'll pull this one for Mr. Morrell. Another 49S, but this one's not a double die. I'm not in Missouri. I'm in North Carolina. Mon frère. Yeah. Let's see what we got on the reverse on this one. Not a whole lot.
Dave, wake up!
Gosh, I remembered something. I don't know why. When you said that, when you made that W Chuck in Missouri, I was thinking that was like a radio broadcaster's call letters. W Chuck. WCHU. Atlanta. Something like that. It made me remember, and I don't know why. These kinds of things, you get things that just hop into your head that you were very unfamiliar with even knowing that you still remembered, but you do, because it just pops into your head. There was a radio station in Memphis, Tennessee, back in the 70s. This is years and years ago, but back in the 70s, it was WDIA. It was a soul, an R&B station, played all the old soul people, Gladys Knight, stuff like, we're talking about 1970s here. But I remember you tune in to WDIA. We'll have the best groovy hits for you for the next half hour. Commercial free. Here on WDIA. Majestic. That's a nice name in some form or fashion for a radio station, right? Oh boy, looky here. Nice Woody for Farm Dog. Nice Woody for Farm Dog. Woody for Farm Dog. Woody for Farm Dog. What was that? Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Remember that? That was back in the 70s too. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's right, KCHK. Of course, it would be a W because I'm east of the Mississippi. All the ones west of the Mississippi are K letters. East of the Mississippi is W letters. So it'd be WHCK. And I tell you what, folks, after today, we maybe, not saying we're doing it, but we may be working on a transition to Garner, North Carolina. We found a house that we may be making an offer on today. Deanne is next. Let's see what we get for Deanne. Here's a 1947. Rather shiny looking coin. Doesn't really have a whole lot going on for it though. There's that real fat Liberty. Man, that almost looks like hub doubling right there, but I'll tell you what, there's just no other sign of it anywhere. You did a stint as a DJ at the local college? Of course, at the local level, they don't really take accent into consideration. As we're around here, my accent would be just fine. even though my accent is a Midwestern accent, it doesn't really matter. There's enough people living here who don't come from North Carolina that having a Midwestern accent, just having a rounded Midwestern accent, it really doesn't make any difference. But you get somebody like old Coin Dragon here, who has his Northern New York accent, comes down here trying to run a radio station with a Northern New York accent, talking about flowers and cars. You'd have a problem with people calling in. You know what? I don't understand nothing you're saying. So it'd probably be about the same thing as if I decided to go up to Buffalo and try running a radio station in Buffalo or Rochester. I have a friend from Rochester with whom I speak on the phone once in a while. I have to adjust my listening ears to be sure I understand everything he says. Because you don't have stuff, you have stuff. Right? You don't commit fraud, you commit fraud. They'd put you on the weather. I don't know about that. What would they put me on if I was on the news? I couldn't be an anchor. Because if I started talking, people would fall asleep. They're going to like, you know what, buddy, we got to pull you off the desk. Here's a 53S. Nicer looking coin, but it doesn't belong here. We're going to yank it out. Unless Jeff Dunn says he wants to keep it. Hi, Jessica. Jeff, you want to keep this 53S or do you want to go to the next coin up? Probably not going to be an RPM or a double die. There is nothing on this coin. It's a normal 1953S. So Jeff Dunn, you can make your decision as to whether you want to keep this coin, 53S, or do you want me to back out and go for a 40s coin? You have 30 seconds to comply. You want to see what's on the next coin? Okay. So I'll pull this 53S out, and it'll go in the pile of other coins that didn't belong in this bag. I'll put a big old bow tie around them and send them back to Tim. Oh, hey, look at that. You made the right choice. You got yourself a nice RPM. Nice RPM with some serious marker on it. There we go. Got a nice 1949S RPM in trade for a 1953S that was nothing. Don't forget, folks, at the end of this broadcast, I'll be talking to you guys about a special deal. It's going to be a real deal. Do not miss it. Your life depends on it. So what would they do? I mean, if I was to get a job at a news station, what would they put me on? So I can't be the anchor. I'd put everybody to sleep. So would I be the guy that does the commentary? Or perhaps maybe I'd just do the radio advertising for them. Almost like a Crazy Eddie deal. Better Call Saul. You're very welcome, Jeff. I want to give everyone choices as much as they can have choices, because your choices are important to you, and they're important to me to see that you get your choices. But in the long run, your choices are not that important to me, because you're going to end up with the coins. What did we have? 2 40S's? Was this the other one? Was this a 40? No, it was a 41. Okay. So you have a 40S and a 41S together. And not too bad, Andrew Forbes. You got yourself the first 2 years in uncirculated S-mint coins from the 1940s. My voice is calm and relaxing. I appreciate that. But that's not something you want, like in a high-energy situation. Right? Okay, I'm looking carefully at this one. What we might have going on here. I'm going to look at it again. Give it a real good look from a different direction. okay, this is machine doubling. I can tell it's machine doubling. See the stem on the B, the upright on the B there? I was wondering what kind of doubling this was without getting up close. It's actually eject doubling. You can see the little scratch marks going into the doubling. But if you look at this B right here, you can see how the outside edge of the B, the part to the left on your picture right now, is normal thickness. But then the part on the right, the vertical stem, is actually kind of cut in half. And the reason that is because it actually was cut in half. That's not a double die, that's part of the strike. So that right there is definitely machine doubling. As I was looking around on this, I was kind of thinking, okay, well, this doesn't look too far off of how that double die looked on the 1943's the other night. But actually it is. It's quite far off because the 1943's actually sported extra thickness in the letters, plus they had really nice notching at the corners. That, and also they were specifically and perfectly reproduced so that a number of coins in the roll had the same doubling. This one will not happen that way. You'll have 41 or 40S's, I think it's 40S. You have 40S's all through this lot. Not one time will this be repeated. Okay, next coin. Oh, it was the 41S. Never mind. I'm going to put these in a holder. I'm going to keep swapping back and forth between the two coins, showing you the 40S. Well, here's another coin, 41S. Well, here's another coin, 40S. Here's another coin, 41S. One of these days, you guys are going to get tired of me and slap me in the face and say, hey, can we move on, please? And we will. Joe McBride. Joe McBride's first coin is this 1945S. What for? Sorry. What for? Which coin, Randy? We'll pull them out. I don't care. This is a learning experience. So I've got Mr. Forbes' coins back out. Was it the 1940 or the 41? The last one. It was the 1940. Okay. Here's the 1940. The end of the 4. You mean that little piece that looks almost like it's sort of kind of broken? I think that's just part of the hubbing. That's just part of the design. Because if it was a double die, you would have more doubling on the 0 than you would on the 4. That's just the nature of how double dies work. They'll be more doubled toward the outside edge or toward the middle. But you're not going to have one letter doubled, especially one part of one letter doubled on a double die. That's what that is. Stay tuned to WCHK for all the latest and greatest in your double die needs. Or go to www.lincolncent.com. Auction list for today is posted. Auction at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain, or 1 p.m. Pacific. Dave, wake up. Here's a 45S here for you. There he is. All right, Dave's awake. Look at the reverse on this one. Ooh, looks like we've got a weak strike on here. Oh, it is weak strike. Very weak strike. Oh, look, there's a little rim cud. A happy little cud lives right over here. Gonna give him a little friend. Let them live together. That's right. We're going to do Double Knowledge Day. End up having a 40-minute smooth jazz knowledge session with no commercial interruptions. Adam Chambers. The auction list is always in the description. Always in the description. It's never been a secret. You just have to read the whole thing. Oh, a little tiny bit of machine doubling going on that coin. You can see it spread just a little bit to the right. See, a lot of people don't know you can get the machine doubling on the reverse of the coins too, but it does happen. As has been evidenced a number of times in this broadcast. $39D? $39D what? Majestic? Are you wanting to talk about something? Let's give him something to talk about. Oh, can't do that. Musical reference. Well, that's Adam's coins for now. You got a Bugs Bunny on the auction today? How about that? All right, got 2 coins picked for Techstar. What's the first one? 1944's. And 1944's was the hit song for last week. This one's junky. Yeah, this one's junky. It's going away. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Time for another coin for Techstar. Oof. Another 44's, and this one's junky too. What happened? Not a double die. Not a pretty coin. A little bit of woody going on there on the reverse, but it is just bugly. Let's move on to another coin. This is 3 strikes and then I'm out. This is a 48's. It's a little nicer. It's got a fingerprint on it, but it's passable. Passable as a red-brown coin. It does have a pretty decent amount of red left in it.
So what's that? You want me to just keep talking like this? Maybe I could pull up an accent. That way I could be annoying enough to keep you awake.
Ah, this is another ugly one. I got a frog jumped up into my throat there. Well, well, well. Okay, that's an ugly coin. I'm gonna get a 4 strikes here. See how many strikes I need before I pick a decent coin out. It seems like all the ugly ones are 44's. Well, there's a 44's. It's got a little bit of color on it. Oh, is that not what we're talking about when we're looking for color? Well, let me see what's going on here. Well, we've got a pretty little reverse. It's not a double die reverse, but it's a pretty little reverse because it has some of the same color as the obverse. Right there. And right there. That's kind of cool. Jerky Boys. What's the Jerky Boys? Roger Rabbit.
Please.
Oh, I just want to find me a wackly little coin here. Okay. Now for Deanne. I got 2 new coins here. Well, this one looks really nice. But it doesn't really have anything on it. I can't do that one. Can't do that guy. I wouldn't want to do too many straight up imitations because that might be against the YouTube policy for voiceover acting, that you can't do anything that's been in any form or fashion copyrighted. This is a RPM. I have a lower split serif there. You can see the extra serif on the bottom of the mint mark. And then you can also see a split in the upper serif if I turn it around just the right way. There we go. Oh, it's there. I saw it once. I know it's there. So that's a 48S. You should see how I talk to my dog sometimes. He looks at me like I have just lost it. For the most part, he's right. Yeah, just for the most part, he is right. Because I tell you what, I'm just a couple of steps away from the funny farm. We're not supposed to call them funny farms anymore. Is that non-PC? I don't give a damn about PC. Who ever thought I cared about PC? Here's the way I look at PC. I'm not political and I'm never correct. If you don't like what I have to say, go find someplace else to watch. If you don't like what I do, turn around and walk the other direction, because I'm not going to stop just for you. How's that sound? Okay, we got nothing really big on this 1949S. Let's move on to the next coin. The next coin is going to be this 1948S. This one's actually got some color on it. It's kind of cool. Little, as my brother would say, interesting color. I know, I tend to just say interesting. That's how I think the word is pronounced, or at least how I was raised to believe that word is pronounced. But you guys to hear me from, the 80s, early 80s into the mid 80s, you wouldn't recognize me now because I have changed completely. Here's Jeff Dunn's first coin. A 1949S. A little repunchment mark here. We've got a little bit of a lower split serif. I did see it. It is there. You barely see it, but it is there. Yeah, I had a very southern accent, believe it or not. When I graduated high school, I sounded like I had just graduated the 6th grade somewhere in the middle of the kudzu fields in Mississippi. I was talking like this. And I didn't really have a lower voice back then, so I just kind of talked a little higher like this because I was 18. And then I went in the military, and when I was in the military, I heard all kind of people talking all kind of different things, and I said, you know, I do sound a little southern. I do sound a little, maybe hickey, backwoods, or whatever you want to call it. So I changed it. Over the years, that accent has worn off of me. I lived in Memphis, Tennessee from 1977 to 1986. 1977, I was all of 9 years old. Graduated high school there. Went straight into the Air Force out of high school. Figured I probably wasn't ready for college yet. I was correct. I wasn't ready for college yet. I would have studied beer drinking if I'd gone to college at that point. I hear it's a degree. Not one that a business management corporation type job would appreciate you having, but yes, I have a degree in beer drinking with a minor in barfly. And I have a thesis in independent study of child support. I have 14 payments that I make. You know, I was going to do the Air Guard. Not Air Guard. Yeah, it was Air Guard. I was going to do the Air Guard after I got out of the Air Force. And back then I was just cocky. I didn't really think about whatnot, right? I had 9 years left to pull at that point. They offered me a position as a senior airman. Well, I was a sergeant. I wasn't about to go back to being called airman. I wanted to be a sergeant. And so I basically refused to take a position that was a downplay in my rank. So I did not go into the Air Guard. I was going to be a member of the Oklahoma National Guard, but because of my own cockiness, I did not take a position I was offered. Did not end up going into the Air Guard. This is ugly. It's got some damage scrapes on it. I'm going to move it off to the side. It's a 49S, but it's a very ugly 49S. Let's try a different coin here for Coin Dragon. Well, it is still a 49S. This one's a better looking slightly 49S because it does not have the damage that the last coin. So the damage is not there, but the coin is still normal. So we'll pull this one out here, put it in the flip insert for Coin Dragon. And Coin Dragon gets another 49S. Now this one is a nice RPM. So we got one that was basically nothing, had damage on it, put it off to the side. Got another one that wasn't damaged, but was still nothing. Then we got another one that was nice and an RPM. So we got 3 49S's in a row out of this random bag pull. Pretty nice. Like it. I like it. I love it. No frat parties in my chat, folks. No frat parties in my chat. No naked people. Marshall. I don't want to pay the license for it. Marshall gets a 46S, and this one does not appear to have anything on it right now. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Oh, boom, there we go. Is that a double die? Is it a double die? Is it? It looks like it. Hard to tell. Big old die gouge on the upper right wheat. Gosh, I don't see any evidence elsewhere. All I see is right there in the center up at the top. But that B and that U and that S definitely look like a double die. Well, I need to pull this one. Well, actually, I'll just let you research it. It looks like it is a double die. So I'm going to go ahead and call this a double die for Marshall and see if he wants to research it and figure out exactly what it is. But it's a 1946S. And what appears to me to be a nice double die 1946S. And a 48S. 48S comes up next for Mr. Marshall. That is a scrape on the coin. Well, we got scrapes, we got spots. We got a 48S, which is one of those nearly no promise coins. Yep, spots everywhere. This thing's coming out of here. Let's see, what's this for Mr. Marshall? Here's his second coin. This one looks nicer. We've got a 1945S with a pretty favorable amount of machine doubling. Well, nothing on that one. We're a go, though. A couple of decent coins. John Argent. And Mr. Connor, Adam Connor, calling all Adam Connors. Come in, all Adam Connors. This looks like we made it. No, I didn't do that. This one is machine doubling. Darn it. That's machine doubling. The serif at the top of the mint mark is it's completely detached from the rest of the mint mark, and the part that stands up. And it's because the quote-unquote doubled part flattens the part that stands up, which means you've only got one mint mark, 2 die slams. So that is not a repunch mint mark. That is only machine doubling. See it from this level, it kind of looks like it could be either one. I wanted to be sure. Okay, now I can see it transposed to the top of the last 4 in the date. And I can also see it transposed to the top of the 9 of the date. So this is definitely just a false alarm. It's just a bit outside. Ball 2. Look at all the rim cuds. Rim cuds everywhere. And that's part of that machine doubling, part of the same thing. Huh. Funny how you can just see it in different little splattered areas of the coin and not just everywhere. That's right. Wah, wah, wah. Wake up, Dave. Wouldn't want anybody to fall asleep now, would we? Oh, boy. Yeah, this is one of those days and age where here we are in 2020, May to be specific, and, well, we can't tell a joke, because if we tell a joke, we might offend someone. We can't say anything offensive because, well, somebody might take it as a joke. We've got men who want to pee in the women's toilet. You got kids who think they're adults at 12. You got a legal system that'll jump up and convict anyone of anything except the people who actually deserve it. Mint marks were actually placed into the dies by hand, not into the coins. Anything that's raised on the coin was something that was sunk into the die. So given that it was sunken into the die, it had to have been placed there because the hubbing of the design takes place in a different stage of making the die. So all the dies are made, well, back in 1940s. I'm going to just get rid of this when it's ugly. Back in the 1940s, all dies were made in Philadelphia. All of them were made with no mint marks. So after the dies were made, they were put into storage, and then when a branchment called for a box of dies, they would get a box of dies out, send it to the die shop, and they would hammer little mint mark letters for that branchment into the dies. Then the dies were sent to the branchment, and the branchment would mint their coins. Well, that means the design on the die and the mint mark were added to the die in completely different times. Given that, your mint mark, any doubling you have on the coin should not be on the mint mark. Any doubling you have on the mint mark should not be anywhere on the rest of the coin. Now, with the exception of machine doubling. Now, machine doubling can happen in a number of different ways, but one of the ways it happens is called eject doubling. Eject doubling happens when perhaps a mint mark might be hanging on because it was not punched into the die properly and had a wall of the mint mark running straight up and down, and that would catch the coin as it's trying to escape the die, and then the feeder finger comes by and hits that coin, and a mint mark is still stuck, but it comes dislodged only after it's been peeled. The design has been peeled to the side a little bit, and then it pops the coin off. So you can see how if a coin is stuck in the die only by the mint mark and the feeder finger comes by and shoves the coin to the side, then you're going to end up having machine doubling on the mint mark only. It is logic. It's all logical. If you know how the mint works, know what the mint is capable of doing and is not capable of doing, and you understand a little bit about metal flow, and making mud pies, and stamping cookies, then you know a little bit about how coins are made to the extent of what is and what is not possible. If I have a cookie press and I'm making little cookies with the Copper Coins logo on it, and I've got my little Copper Coins logo, and I keep punching more little cookies with my Copper Coins logo, and I keep doing it and I keep doing it, and then all of a sudden somebody gets one that it appears that Copper Coins was spelled with 2 O's in the second half, so it's copper OOINS. Folks, you know that in order to have a design flaw like that, all of them would have to be that way because it was the same press making all of the cookies. Or let's say that we have 1,000 presses making 1,000,000 cookies, and one of those presses makes a cookie that appears to have the Copper Coins logo with 2 O's in the second half of the word. Of course, you have to imagine one of two things happened. Either something happened and that cookie press broke where the C is, making it look like an O, or that O was there all along. Now, if your press breaks and starts making cookies that look like they have copper oins instead of copper coins. Hey, look at that. That's a stain. I thought it was a doubled eyelid there for a minute, but it wasn't. But if your press suddenly starts making cookies that say copper oins instead of copper coins, this one looks like it could be a double die. Could be. Then you know that you have something happened to that press to make that happen. But if you get one cookie that has that, and you get another cookie that has it, then you know you've got more than one cookie with the same problem. There was probably one of your presses that did it, and it probably had the copper oins in there all along. So a little, I guess, a word play with making cookies, mud pies, whatever you want to make. You want to press embossed tiles with the design of fleur-de-lis that goes one way, and then suddenly somebody finds one that appears to have a fleur-de-lis going a different way. Not possible. because the dies were all made with a single design. So there's things that can't happen in a process. There's a lot of things that can happen in a process. Randy, just plain sugar cookies, thank you, and I'll give you my address so you can ship them to me. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the wonderful ear you have given me during this instructional process. And white butterflies everywhere. I love white butterflies. I love all kinds of butterflies. In Florida, you don't see a whole lot of butterflies. Up here, I expect we will, but I haven't yet. Well, this is Joe McBride again. We are almost to the end of this 4-hour process, which I thoroughly enjoy doing these processes. It's just that they do take quite a bit of time. So here's Randy again. I believe this might be, is it Randy's number 4? There's a 1945S, and this one is kind of ugly. A little weak, a little ugly. Oh, there's a huge struck through right there in the middle of the reverse. That is a struck through, folks. It's a big cavity in the coin that doesn't have any metal poked up on the outside edges. It was definitely done that way while the coin was in the die. So that's going to be a good one. That one's big enough I can see it just looking down at the coin, so got a nice one. Ding, 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 ding. What do we have next, Randy? Well, it's a 46S. That's a clip. That is a curved clip. Small rim clip. So you got yourself 2 really cute looking errors. And this one's missing part of the motto because it's so weak. It's missing the T altogether. But yeah, let's see how this affected the reverse of the coin. So we've got this area right here on the obverse, which should match this area of the reverse. Yep, you've got that weakness going on right there. This is definitely a clip planchet. That is luck. You get yourself a struck through and a clip right there together. Bam, bam, 2 coins. Bam, bam. Reminds me of a cartoon. I'm not going to say anything. Bam, bam. All right, who do we got next? Mr. Morrell. Mr. Morrell, get this coin. What is it? It's a 41S. 41S here. This one looks kind of normal. Got a few little spots. A few more little spots. We got any spots on the reverse? We're going to toss this coin. We're going to toss this one. We've got no double die anywhere. We've got a coin with spots all over it. So we're going to move on to this coin. I did notice that as a part of the North Carolina vernacular. We've got news people in North Carolina here that I listen to on a relatively regular basis, and my ear is very sensitive to accent and to how different people speak the same language in different ways. In North Carolina, I have found the dialectical twitch in their accent that you can definitely tell they're from North Carolina. Now, a lot of the southern people will draw their eyes out, so you can't really tell when they say, "Oh, looky there. Oh, how colorful. That's pretty. Who is this? Tim Morrell? There you go, brother. Got yourself a nice woody. I certainly didn't notice that one coming. It's also a doubled eyelid. You got a doubled eyelid woody. Does Jessica have an accent? Yeah, Jessica has an accent. Not a lot. There's some little parts of what you do, Jessica, that has a kind of a southern twinge to it, even though you live in Iowa. And then that kind of goes away. I had a brother-in-law who was from Iowa, moved back to Iowa, actually. In fact, I think he lives in Wisconsin now. But he would say, Iowa. And you don't talk that way. You don't talk the same way as the people up in Des Moines or people like Brady. You don't talk like him. You have more of some of what you say matches more of the southern Mississippi Valley kind of way of speaking. Just once in a while you'll say a word that reminds me more of the South than of Iowa. Let me grab more coins. Hang on. There we go. That'll be enough to finish us off. Let's see. What do we get next? This is Paul Hampton. Paul Hampton again. See if we can get him a half est 7. Well, there's a full est 8. Is your accent a southern drawl? I'd imagine where you're from, Shannon. Is it like just a southern thing, or is it more like a twangy southern, like Jerry Clower? I haven't talked to anybody like a full-on Jerry Clower in a long time. I've met some. Ooh, nice. Nice RPM there. You get a nice little bulb on the bottom of the mint mark showing that you've got a double lower serif. So, Paul Hampton, you got yourself a nice little RPM. Nice little RPM. If I had to classify your accent, Jessica, I would say your daughter is correct. I hate that I have to do that, but I do have to agree with her. Y'all and Han. Then I'm supposed to say, what's a hand weigh?
About 8 pounds.
Oh, I had one fall for that last week. She thought I was like a third grader. No, it's a hen weigh. What about a hen weigh? You know, the hen weighs. What's a hen weigh? About 8 pounds. Oh, she heard me. You know what, Jess? It's one of those times where you pick when you ask a question because you may not want anyone else to hear the answer. Nice 1942S there for Doug Reese. Let's try this coin and see what it is. It's a 47S. 47S with a nice amount of luster. Got that thick Liberty going on. But there are people here in North Carolina that have the really southern twang. And then you've got the other people who have the mid-Atlantic talk, which is a very funny thing. It's really interesting how that accent even came to be. But they do it in Pennsylvania and they do it in Maryland too. And to some extent you'll hear it in West Virginia and in Virginia. But when they say on, like the letters O-N put together, like on the bridge or on the stove, they will say one. It's almost like it's W-O-N instead of just O-N. It's one. It's like on TV, on the bridge. And I've noticed that there's a lot of North Carolinians who speak with that style of accent. What year is this? Another 47S. I'm going to do some study on that 47S stuff one of these days. Figure out what really is. What has 2 hairs and 3 teeth? The front row at a Willie Nelson concert. There you go. Yeah, you do get that up in Pennsylvania too. Pennsylvania is one of those. I don't know. I recognize a Pennsylvania accent as soon as I hear it, especially somebody from the woods or the hills. Because, well, they do it and they just don't care. but you got Pennsylvania. Gonna go downtown. That's more like the people over in the western part of the state around Pittsburgh. Gonna go uptown, downtown. Oh yeah, gonna get me one of them. And then you go up Ohio. Sounds even a little more, I guess, Midwest twang. It's
Ahia.
not pronounced Ohio. It was Ahia. But that's only for the southwestern part of the state. Cincinnati up to Dayton, crossover probably to Columbus and south. You've got just along the Ohio River Valley in Ohio, they sound like they're from Kentucky. They've got a very Kentucky accent. Kentucky accent is a very back heels accent. They talk a lot about things beside goggling. That means it's all cattywampus. Of course. Strange. That's shy goggling. That's how they talk in West Virginia, North Carolina, Virginia, up in the Appalachians. And those mountain people got a whole different language of English they speak. Everything's real different up there. So we got two for Adam C. Adam Chambers here. Let's see what we could do for Adam Chambers. We got a 1940s. Yep. Don't see anything special on this one, but it is a decent 1940s Lincoln. And what do we have next? A 48S. 48S that doesn't have anything on the obverse. Now you guys know very well that I'm straight up and honest about how I do this stuff. You also know that every one of these coins was picked out straight out of the bag without looking at them first. I didn't load anything up so that, I mean, you can see obviously that I'm reaching over into a bag and grabbing more coins. So you know very well that I'm not trying to load this up and make it seem like it's bigger or better than it actually is. What you're getting out of these, what we're seeing out of this, is my best guess to a completely and totally randomly drawn group of coins. Some of the coins I'm picking out are nice. Some of the coins I'm picking out are much less than nice. This one's actually a little bit of a clip. You can see where the rim gets really weak right there. There's just enough of a clip on the coin to make the rim weak and not keep it from being completely round. A very, very small rim clip. Let's take a look at the other side. Just make sure that's correct. Yes, it is correct. That is what it was. Little rim clip. Yeah, and I'll get the bloods out next. So, here's what I want to do with regard to, well, there's a 48S with a really nice RPM, but it does have little black spots all over it. Randy, do you want to keep this one or you want me to grab for another coin? I can keep this one for you or we can grab for another coin. You are at the very end of this little journey too. This is the very end of the line, very last coin I'm going to pull out for a spot. Okay, Randy likes the RPM, so we're just going to keep this RPM for him and congratulate him on a nice RPM, a nice find, and the very last coin of this particular reveal. Now, we have discussed there's something that I've got. It's going to be a special. Well, I've taken up a number of the rolls worth of these coins and wrap them up into San Francisco wheat cent rolls. These are uncirculated-ish coins. There's AU to uncirculated coins in there. You can see what the coins look like. Just like this right here. And I would like to find out what you guys would like to pay to get these. So I'm going to run it as basically a regular auction. So we can start at 50 cents a roll if you want to, or you can give me $1 a roll. You want to give me $1 a roll, and we'll just do this as a regular auction. You guys can bid right now. Tell me what you would want to give for these. 50 cents, $1, $1.50. So we got $1. Got $1, be looking for $1.50. Now Deanne says 4, Coin Dragon says 3. Deanne's $4 is on top. Jason Bussman says he would give 5, CVS at 5, Shannon at 6. So if we got Shannon at 6, I'd be looking for a $6.50 bid to see where we go from there. Coin Dragon says he'd pay 7. Now you got to think you're getting 50 of these coins. You just paid 75 cents per coin to get them. If you get 50 of them, you're talking about a $37.50 roll of coins. So Timothy Morrell would pay 8, CVS for 8, Shannon McCord for 8, and Joe McBride for $7.50. Okay, so Timothy Morrell would currently be on top with 8. Shannon McCord says he'd give 12. And Justin Bussman at 10, Techstar at 10, Coin Dragon gives the googly eyes, Joe McBride at 11, CVS at 13. So we've got CVS at 13 and Joe McBride at 11, Techstar at 10, Jason Bussman at 10. Bill says he'd give 8, Shannon at 8, CVS at 8, Timothy Morrell at 8. Shannon says he'd give 15. 15 on this roll. Say top. So I tell you what I'll do. I'm going to put together 15 of these rolls. Let me get a piece of paper. Get a piece of paper I can actually write on. Hang on just a second. There we go. Whoop. All my stuff falling apart on me. I'm going to get this out of the way so I can actually write. Okay, we can stop bidding at this point. Go ahead and stop bidding. And I'm going to do this like this. I'm going to go with $8 a roll. Let me see if I can do that. I got to make sure I'm not below my cost. Not like I'm going to give them away, but at the same time I like to. Let's see. Yeah. I have to go to $9 a roll. It has to be $9 a roll. So I'm going to start this over. Wait until after I type $9 a roll in. You guys can take up to, let's say, up to 2 rolls apiece. So up to $9 per roll. Max 2 per person. Go now. There you go. Now everybody throw it back in. Throw it back in the hat. Okay, and for everyone, Joe, I will be able to include this in your box. I still haven't sent your box, I'm sorry. But these are at $9 a roll. $9 a roll, I've got Joe Durbin. Times 2. Randy times 2. These things are loaded with RPMs and all sorts of other cool stuff. Coin Dragon. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and just type this because I think it's faster for me to type it than it is for me to try to write it. Let me bring my keyboard back in here. Find myself a spot and a sheet to get started. This is as good as any. So let me throw some holes in here. Okay. So I'm going to go with, again, Joe Durbin for 2. I'm going to do... This thing keeps moving on me. Here we go. Okay, now, we got Randy for 2. Coin Dragon for 2. Justin Bussman for 2. And Timothy Morrell for 2. Techstar for 1. Farm Dog for 1. James Worley for 2. We got Deanne for 1. Eric Beyer for 2. Wild Bill for 2. Joe McBride for 1. Adam Connor for 2. We got CVS for 1. We've got Shannon McCord for 2. And let's see. Greg McCoy for 2. And Bill 457 for 1. That looks like all. That's all I've got right now anyway. Yeah. Okay. Let me do a count. Oh, Steve A wants one. Let me put Steve A on here. See what we end up with. How many names do I have here? How many do I have called for? 29. 29 rolls. Can I do 29 rolls? Let me make the rolls first, and then I will invoice you. On the people that I was unable to make a second roll for, I will cut them out starting at the end of the list working toward the front. I'll be able to get at least one roll for everyone. There may be some people. It's like, for instance, Greg McCoy was the last person to ask for 2 rolls. Greg McCoy at 2 rolls, if I can't make all the 30 some odd rolls that I said, I would knock you down to 1 roll. So let me make the rolls first, and then I'll get the invoices out and let you guys know, and I appreciate it, and thank you very much. If you've already paid shipping on anything you've not received and have not mailed, this will be included with the shipping and whatever we've got going on. If not, or if this is your first go-round for anything from me, then I will have to charge you a $4 shipping fee for the first class shipping to get this out to you. So that is what I've got for now. So I definitely appreciate it, you guys. I thank you. And what I would like to do is maybe spend a few minutes chatting about whatever you might want to chat about. And then bring this to an end. I think it was fun. Adam, it was actually rolls of the same thing that I've been going through during this reveal. So it's just coins pulled straight out of the bag and wrapped up in these nifty little wrappers that I have created. 50 San Francisco wheat cents, and they're uncirculated-ish coins on the inside. Some of them are a little bit AU-ish, but most of them are red-brown uncirculated. I had a great time doing this with you guys. I really did. And I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I made these things. I made them up. I guess it was in Photoshop. I made these up. And then I printed them up on my printer. And I used double stick tape to get them to stick down. And they work really well. I never use my crimping machine to get the crimps on the ends. I've got one of those professional crimping machines. Let's see. What do we go here? Joe McBride, I got a question. What's a good way to sort this since we are counting? I had a bunch of cups and spreadsheet for the end or search or each box. That's really kind of up to you, but the way I prefer to do it is if I get a bunch of coins that I'm going to sort, I want to sort them into larger containers. And 17 containers is all you need to do Lincoln cents. Your first sort through, I used to do $50 bags, so doing 2 boxes shouldn't be a problem because 2 boxes is $50. And you go through and you sort everything by the last digit first. And then when you come back through, you do it by the decades. So you sort first by the last digit. So you've got a bucket of zeros. And that would have, 1960, 1970, 1980, 1990, 2000, 2010, 2020. So that's 7 different decades. So you take that into the other group and you sort the zeros. You put the lids on all the rest of them, stick them in a closet, get them back out when you're ready for them. Because you don't have to have all these coins out at once. The only time you ever have to have all the coins out at once is the first time you go through everything. You have to sort everything by the first digit by the last digit first. So you get your zeros, your ones, your twos, your threes, your fours, your fives. So you got 10 different things marked 0 through 9. So you sort everything by that last digit, and then you put the tops on all the rest of them, put them in the closet. Then you got your zeros. You take your zeros out and you sort them by the decade. When you sort them by the decade, you're going to end up with 7 different piles. From that point, it really shouldn't be difficult because you're not going to have a whole lot of 1980s. And when you do, you sort the ones that don't have mint marks from the ones that do have mint marks. Pretty simple. Because all you have is plain and D.
Okay. Actually, I'll just add one on
For you, Adam, and I'll make note that
if I have to break Shannon's up, I will. But if I don't,
I'll get you one. All right. I appreciate it. Tim Morrell, I did actually get a 55D roll out for you. It's actually right here. I just haven't talked to you about it. But there's a 55 roll right there. It's a nice BU 1955 roll. There's no way I could be lying to you. I couldn't just reach up and grab a 55D roll. So I got that roll out for you. I just haven't talked to you about it yet. We need to chit-chat about that. Bill, you have a great walk, buddy. And Randy, if you really want me to sign your wrapper, I'll sign your wrapper. In fact, I'll sign this one right here. This will be one of yours, Randy. I feel like a baseball player now trying to sign a baseball. There you go. Here's one signed right there.
that'll be for Randy.
Yeah, I make my own wrappers. I do my own graphic work. I do like all of the flip inserts, all this stuff. I do all this myself. I just like the pomp and circumstance, you know. I just like the nifty stuff that you can make out of some cardboard and a good printer. Paul, what I'm looking for is anyone to sort any number of boxes of Lincolns that they would offer to do. And a box I'm considering as $25 worth. So if you just go and they've got $25 worth and you stick them in a pillow sack, I don't care. That's a box worth. It's $25 per draw. And I'm looking to see if we can get as many bags or as boxes as possible done at $25 per shot. So if you can get 3 shots, that'd be $75. 5 shots is $150. Or $125, sorry. So you do as many of those as you can. between now and the last day of September. Make sure you get all your numbers into me by the last day of September, and all I'm looking for is for you to sort them by date and mint mark. And for those of you who know the differences, go ahead and do the small dates and large dates, the 1960, 1970s, 1982s, the 1974s. Do those for me too, because that's going to help me. If a number of people do those, at least I'll be able to make some form of rational conclusion from the numbers that I get on those. But it's going to be down to the end of September. We're going to attempt to do 88,000 boxes. 88,000 boxes is about 1/100th of everything that is circulating now. Horse blanket plastic sleeves. Eddie, if you send me some sort of an email on that. Give me a link or something so that I can deal with it. Just give it to me through email. Coins per form. Are we talking about? Oh, again, how many coins per form? Doesn't make any difference. You can do it in as one box and then count them all on one form. You could do 3 or 4, 5, 6 boxes and count them all on one form, or you can print out a new form every time you do a box. It doesn't matter to me that you combine 2 or 3 or 4 boxes together. I'm not trying to get what's in each box. I'm trying to get what's circulating in your area. Yes, Deanne, I can do that. I appreciate that. I got the email. I just haven't replied to it yet. So Techstar, that answers your question. You can do as many boxes as you want at a time per form. You can do a form. You can do $8 worth of it. Fill out a form for the $8 worth. Go to bed. Get up the next morning and do the other $17 and fill out another form. Doesn't make any difference. You're going to combine all of that at the end of the project. We're going to have a place where you're going to go in and enter all of these numbers into an HTML form. And when you get there, you're going to tell me how many boxes you have done or how many coins have you counted to come up to these numbers. That way, our math is going to say, well, you counted 10,000 coins, but you've got 12,700 numbers here. There's something wrong with your math. That will tell us, okay, well, there's a problem. Or it will tell us that your numbers are relatively accurate because you tell me that you did 10,000 coins and here's 9,994. I'm going to call that. That sounds relatively accurate to me. And I know that we're going to have a plus or minus 5%. Shannon, yes, the credit. What was the credit amount, Shannon? I can't remember. Let me write it down here now. There are 2 separate forms, Techstar. There's one for the modern coins, which start at 59, and then there's one for wheats, which goes all the way back to 1909. And yes, there is a spot for the 09S VDB. So there's a wheat form and a modern form. And interestingly enough, I got every issue of Lincoln Cent to fit on 2 forms. That includes splitting apart the 2009s. It includes splitting apart all 7 1982 varieties. You find the forms. You go to this website, thecentproject.com. And there is a link in the navigation bar for forms. You go there and you'll see that there's a place where you're going to be eventually going to enter your numbers. And the 2 forms are right there on that page. There's a form for the modern coins and a form for the wheat coins.
Okay.
That's fine, Adam. What about you, Shannon?
I don't know what the amount was.
I can't remember when I tell you that you get credit, and I can't remember what the amount was. I could always go back and look it up, but I prefer you just tell me. Take the mystery out of it. Make it easier. Paul, yes, you can still participate. Basically, that list of counties was the 380 some odd counties that were the most populous counties in the country. But if you live anywhere in the country and you get United States coins, you just pick the county with population that's closest to you. And you just call it for that county. Nope, no sending anything to me. All you're doing is counting them by date and mint mark, writing down what you find, and then you redeposit the coins. Whatever you want to do with the coins, it doesn't make any difference. I mean, if you find in the box is all wheat, then you keep it. Whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah, I know that, Shannon. I'll go back and I'll figure it out.
I think we talked about it at some point, and I don't remember exactly where it was we talked. Well, if you find it, let me know, and if I find it, I'll let you know, and then we'll both know. How's that sound? Because that's... What's important is that everybody's taken care of.
Beyond that, doesn't really matter, right?
Everybody's got to be happy. Everybody's got to be taken care of. Once you're happy and you're taken care of, everything else is all good. Tim Morell, are you still here? I think you are. On this roll right here, $20 takes the roll. Yep, $20 takes the roll. That includes postage, and I will send you an invoice. How does that sound?
In fact, I'll just add it on to the invoice for this particular
couple of rolls that you've ordered. Exactly.
All right. There we go. $20 for Timothy Morell.
There we have it. Let me know if you find anything in this. I've not ever been through it. It's a nice 1955 D roll. Okay, Eddie, I appreciate it. Well, everybody, I got the wife headed back toward the house with lunch, so I'm going to go ahead and take off of here and be ready when she gets here, because probably she's got something that's got fries or something like that in it that tastes nasty if you let them get cold. So I've had a great time this afternoon. I appreciate it, folks. We've got a auction coming up here, when is it? About an hour and 30 minutes. And it's going to be right here on this channel. It's going to be Jessica doing the Coin Night Live Auction Weekend Edition. And we will eventually be moving the time on that to a later time in the day, because Jessica likes to go fishing on Sundays during the day, and she wants to do her auctions a little bit later. So we're actually talking about moving it forward by 3 hours to 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, but we're not going to do that this week. We're not going to have an auction next weekend, because next weekend will be Memorial Day weekend. So we're going to have a holiday next weekend. So we'll do the auction at 3 this weekend, then at 6 2 weeks from now. That's going to be on Sunday. I appreciate it, folks. I'll see you guys in an hour and a half over at Jessica's auction.